Alrighty, welcome to the very first Crucible Dynasty podcast. My name is Shaggy, and joining me today are my longtime clan buddies, Ace and Magi. How you going, guys?
Oh, hypes, man. Hype for April Destiny content.
April Destiny hype, yes, lovely. We are all in Crucible Dynasty. We're an Australian clan. We do have one American member. Triforce, if you're out there. G'day, buddy.
Shout out.
But yeah, we're mainly a Crucible-centric clan, and Magi.
We love everything Destiny. Everything Destiny.
Yes,
Destiny.
all things Destiny.
Yes, and Magi is one of the longest-running members in the clan. Would you like to say a few words about the clan, Maj?
Yeah, for sure. I remember about a year and a half ago, almost, coming into the clan. Was in another clan with a bunch of friends for a while, and then ran into Killer and her band of miscreants in the Crucible. And then some of our members got to know her a little bit more, and then we found we had really a lot in common in terms of our outlook, and we sort of merged into the Crucible Dynasty. Into the Crucible Dynasty fold, and it's fantastic. Really, what I like about it is we're just a bunch of friends. Yeah. We support each other. We have fun. You know, we didn't just sort of make a Crucible Facebook group for us all to Crucible Dynasty Facebook for us all to go into just to communicate. The majority of us were friends on Facebook in the first place, so it just made sense to make one for us all to communicate. You know, it's really a natural kind of fun environment, and I like everyone I play with. So that's.
It's been a lot of fun. Joining Crucible Dynasty, like me and Shaggy, we weren't too sure about joining a clan, but if there's any advice for any new Destiny players or just anyone that's, just has struggled playing content, joining a clan is huge in this game. Making friends, I was not expecting. I've never done this in games before, even.
Yeah, literally making friends. It's just, I catch up with people, regularly for dinner around the area from the clan. We're spread out across Australia. We've got a bunch of Queensland members. I'm in Victoria, of course. We've got a bunch of Victorian members, some New South Welshmen.
Yep.
I think we did have a couple of Western Australian members, but not anymore, I don't think. But we're spread out pretty far and wide, though, which is good.
I think at the time Ace and I joined, I was reading Ready Player One.
Yeah.
And what do they call themselves when they're
Gunters?
Gunters,
Gunter?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They will be in all lone wolf style, and
Yeah.
Oh man, LFGs are nothing compared to just being able to jump.
No, exactly right. I had a bunch of people. I remember going on LFG and getting a raid group before I joined any clan at all, and it was pretty bad the first time. And I had to do it in the past. I'd had a bunch of people that were playing, but I didn't have that many people playing Destiny at that time that I knew. But then the second group was just fantastic. I found some people I really enjoyed, and we sort of formed a clan around that early on, and then and then merged into Crucible Dynasty way later. But
in the end, I think that's how we found Crucible Dynasty.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't LFG, you
raids.
wouldn't have come across Calcifer.
Yeah, for sure.
Dougie.
For sure.
And
Dougie, hey? Well, there you go.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. We digress. Anyway, we're a bunch
There's
of
big news this week.
Yeah. I mean, there is big
Actual news.
Bungie news, yes.
Yeah, genuine sort of content, which is
Yes.
exciting.
Well, I was thinking the last content we dropped was Crucible Doubles. I mean, it's Crimson Doubles, and that was a long time ago. So we're pretty hyped to be hyped.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the doubles was whatever. It was a doubles playlist. It was fun, sure, but it's they've been obviously working pretty hard behind the scenes, I'd say, to get this ready and get a cohesive kind of update ready, full of things for us to actually do, and that has the strength to last and keep people interested until September, where the new major DLC paid DLC update will come. So that will be a new raid, presumably. But for now, we've got this sort of huge chunk of content to digest, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and the other content didn't stick around. That's the other big thing. But we can get into that because we're going to talk about the content at the end, I think. So should we jump into? Well, first of all, did you guys watch the stream?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched it afterwards. I admit I was getting pretty hyped. Just seeing the new things added, just new levels of customization is what we need in this game. These steps that come now made me super hyped for not necessarily this update, but the future of Destiny, definitely.
100% the future of Destiny. I couldn't agree more. The you look at the vanilla release of and the first year release of other major MMOs such as WoW and things like that, and you see really bare bones, awful experiences compared to what people would recognize now as the powerhouses that they are. And I think when you're designing an experience that's going to be as large and as long-lasting as an MMO like Destiny, it's important to play the long game and develop things that are going to be forward-facing and be able to sort of increase enjoyment and the content. So customization is here, even if you don't like this type of customization that they've introduced or think it's not enough. I think you've really just got to think that this is the first offering of customization in Destiny, and what it's saying is customization is here, and this is the first sort of attempt at it. There's obviously another 2 to 3 whole games coming, and a bunch of paid DLCs coming, and that's development time. It's not just buy this to get the new content. This is development time to really work on these ideas as the developers will be and really flesh them out. So I agree.
I was going to talk about, the impact that this customization had, but I guess we should jump in to explain that stuff first. Hey, Shaggy, you want me to run through what was announced on the stream?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
Good idea.
Okay, so the first little thing they showed us was being able to turn our HUD off and on. So your reticle and your ammo, that's pretty cool. Just another ease of life thing. It's good to have in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So the next big thing that came in was this customization, was these chromas that these new armor sets are coming in. It's not coming in with old armor. This is a big thing. When they're designing new armor now, they're probably going to always have this chroma in mind, this next level of customization. So these chromas are like highlighted accents for these different armor pieces at the moment. You can have red, blue, yellow, and white accents. The other thing they showed us was the Sterling treasure chests, and this is primarily how you get this armor.
Wait, I'd like to know what you guys actually think about the chroma.
In terms of like the system about how it functionally works, what you need to do to sort of get it right?
Just the general aesthetic of the chroma and what you guys thought.
I actually really liked it. My mind went instantly to thinking all these different ways that I can customize. If I've got like a red shader on, I could have white accents on the chest and maybe red arms, and I'm red and white, and my gun's red and white. And when you change the shaders now, you can choose to have different pieces, different chroma. Not your whole armor set's chroma. So I got pretty excited.
Well, exactly right. I mean, the level. I mean, what I like about it is the level of customization is immense if you care enough to do it. If you just want to look cool and glow, then you just pop on the pieces, and all you need to do is, if you want if you want a blue glow, go ahead and put in your blue pieces and then glow, and that's fantastic. But if you really, really wanted to, if you know the way your armor set looks on your hunter, and you like that a lot, you like your new monarchy hunter like I do, and then you've got your red shader on, which you know the way the shaders apply their different colors to different parts of the armor, so you know that your chest piece is going to be white. Okay, fantastic. So you can have red chroma on your chest piece to accent that if you wanted to, and then so on and so forth. So
I was just a bit kind of cool. But I to be honest, I was a bit disappointed that it was only red, blue, yellow, and white. But I do understand this is the beginning of something.
Well, the other thing with that though is that those colors are represented by consumables. So if they can't, especially early, I couldn't start to make a thing. That's the other thing we should cover. So you'll get an armor piece, and it's going to have a chroma spot. Say this one will accept a red chroma piece, and you have to put a red chroma consumable in it to activate it.
Absolutely.
But you can re-roll that, which is great. It only costs 100 Gilmar. You're losing.
Exactly right. It's not a it's a placeholder for a fee. There is no fee. I mean,
I'm a bit surprised at the colours, but they couldn't really probably accommodate many more than 4 at this stage.
No, and I think people should be aware of the fact that I suggest that any inclusion of more colours, especially more than the 4, are going to really sort of increase quite exponentially the level of effort required to customize and to do a good job on everything. So to have the level of polish, because to be very clear, Destiny is one of the best looking games.
Oh yeah,
that are around. The art design is fantastic. It just is. I mean, regardless of whether or not you like the aesthetic or not, you'd need to go ahead and say and admit, I would suggest, that the aesthetic is very well put together, even if you don't like it. The art design is just fantastic, and they've got a bunch of talented artists working here. So to have something with the level of polish that Destiny has, it's not a small task design wise. So
I'm surprised, to be honest. I really didn't think we'd see this kind of level of customization come in at this stage.
Yeah.
No, neither. And especially with the incredible report. I mean, to be clear, Kotaku should be Destiny's official biographer. They really should come out. I mean, anyone who hasn't gone and read all of the Kotaku articles on the history of Destiny and the problems that plague its development and things. It's an enormous. There are a bunch of pieces, bunch of articles. Read all of them. They are unbelievable.
It's funny. They've actually made themselves more credible through Destiny. You know, it's so right.
Which is funny. They're just really they're good stuff. And so when you hear about the difficulties, if you are to believe the articles, the difficulties that content creators, that is to say, the artists and programmers and everyone involved in the creation of Destiny are having using this engine and the design tools that were put together, I think, to build this incredibly large game and all its spaces and all its assets. It was designed to build a game from the ground up. But then once it's been published, doing small, and once the game's gone gold, doing small iterative changes using this engine apparently is just nightmarish. Taking 12 to 15 hours to compile a build after one change has been made just by an artist. And then the programmer has to go in and open that build up, and he has to go ahead and do some programming to that, recompile. And the compiles, of course, can fail, so they go home overnight, wait for a compile, come back in, it failed. All right, fantastic. What am I going to do today? Nothing. And that's the example given by one of the designers was just to move like an ammo box, 3 meters or something. It's like, okay, right. So when you're dealing with that, the idea that they're working as hard as they are, I think, is necessary because the players deserve. Woe is me for them, but of course we're the players and we deserve this stuff as well as paying customers. So it's good that they're working this hard, and I wouldn't be so upset about the level of customization available now. I'm more excited, even though I really like it. Even if I didn't, I'd be excited that this is a very, very huge and obvious announcement that customization is a part of Destiny's future.
So, yes. Yeah. Cosmetically, it's a big change, and even the armor that they displayed with these chromas looks stunning too. It all really.
The design is fantastic. I didn't like the Spectre hood.
Yeah, me neither, mate.
Or for the Warlock, which upset me greatly as I main Warlock. But who cares? I'll find something else. It'll be totally fine. And in fact, if it's the only one that looks semi-okay with the chroma, I'll use it no matter what. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because overall, that armor piece, except for the hood, looked unbelievably good. So,
And as we say in the future, we're going to assume that the armor is going to have chroma in mind, so it's just going to get better and better.
Definitely. I'd imagine all the high-end armor sets will have their own chroma versions over time. So I'd imagine the Trials of Osiris gear, I'd suggest that the drops you get maybe won't be chroma enabled, but maybe from the Adept set from Mercury perhaps might be chroma enabled. I'd suggest that the Iron Banner gear from that you buy probably will be, because it's Iron Banner is probably a bit more accessible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, future raid gear could very well be, and in fact there could be, and this is, of course, we've gone from fact to wild speculation, which is fine. But I'm imagining now, and this is what's exciting about it. This is exactly why it's great for these announcements, and if you recognise that this is a beginning, it lets you imagine what the future could be like, because there could be. So we've got the base red, blue, and yellow and white. However, there could be raid chroma. Imagine that. So you've got 5 raid chroma. I mean, what would it be for King's Fall? It probably would be a murky, sort of black, sort of awful, sort of poison light. Yeah, that kind of thing. So then you've got that. So oh my god, I got a raid drop. Fantastic. Okay, cool. It's chroma enabled. But maybe only hard is chroma enabled. Maybe not, or maybe you have a high. There's a lot of stuff.
Or chroma's become the new Chatterwhite.
Exactly. Very true. So and then it could be one of the chests. I mean. Yep. You remember going in and just hoping to all hell for getting a class item from one of the chests, I should say. But now it's like, I wish I got some chroma. You're excited. You want to play. You want to get more chroma to activate on your pieces. So
there's a few reasons to that because the raid's going to get better with infusion, but we're going to get to that. So I guess we should keep moving along.
We should.
Okay, because the next thing is the Sterling Treasure Chest, and this is how we get this chroma enabled armor. Now you get 3 free
and the actual chroma
and the chroma itself. That's right. And you get 3 free per week. Just 1 for logging in. There's going to be 1 at your postmaster. You get 1 for completing the 41 Prisoner Vaulters, not the challenge mode, it's the 41, and 1 for participating in the weekly Crucible playlist. So completing a game in that, like for instance, this week it's Mayhem Rumble. And so that's pretty interesting. I think we talk about the fact that loot boxes are in Destiny a bit later. I'll keep plugging through this. Because you can, the other controversial thing about these is that you can buy them. But Bungie today and yesterday have put out some things on their Twitter clarifying some of how that's going to work. So we can hook into that a bit later. I'm just going to power through some of these things now. Faction rep being boosted dramatically. That is pretty big. I'm really happy about that.
I mean, you remember what it used to be pre-patch. So, I mean... It was already good. My question is it going to go back to how it was, or is it going to be even more? I wonder.
Yeah, I was interested in that.
Because the factions had chroma armor too, and the only way to get them is through these drops, by ranking up with that faction. So people are going to want to do that.
They're 100% going to do that. I mean, I'm a bit distressed that to get one of my final characters to 25, to get one of the exotic class items, I personally have spent something like 1,000 strange coins on heavy ammo. And I've done that now. And if I had have just waited a little bit longer, I would have been able to instantly get all the gear. So I'm personally sort of burning with the fire of a million suns inside with the amount of anger I have towards that. But again, I mean, that'll pass. I'll do some more farming and it'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like. Yeah, I know. I've been doing every update. I seem like I clear out my vault, and then we land out. We're getting vault space or something like that, But anyway,
and in fact, there's one. You've stumbled onto that vault space.
Yeah, that vault space. That's another. That was such a shock. I got really hyped at that. But
yeah, I was shocked at that.
Yeah,
especially how hard it was for them to do that the first time.
We were begging them for a year.
Well, I mean, but do you know anyone that plays on the old consoles? No. I know a couple of. Have you? I mean, the load times for the Vault, if on the old consoles, and again, this is a bit apocryphal. I've only seen it once because I don't have Destiny on the old consoles. I only know only 1 or 2 people that play on the old consoles, and they're not even in the clan. But the load times for the Vault are apparently just unconscionable. It's like, oh, now to go into my Vault, I'll go make a tea. Yeah, it's basically that. Yeah. I think I don't even think when I'm playing this game that there's even something semi comparable to it on old hardware. So that is mind blowing.
Okay, so from these loot chests we get the Taken armor and the Spectre armor. They come out of these chests at 3, and at light level it is. So you got to infuse them up to be powerful.
And that for me, I mean, I know there was going to be a lot of upset when it was announced that you could buy them, but I think that was instantly cleared up. Deej followed up basically straight away saying, "Yep, you can buy them, but they're at 3 light level. Therefore, you're buying cosmetics unless you're actually playing high end content anyway. If you're playing high end content, then who cares? Like,
that's right.
You're limited by what high-end content you can play in terms of your ability to infuse. So, I mean, for me, I don't think there's a valid argument anymore for why.
Well, they settled a bit more of the controversy just recently on their Twitter. They said any of the armor that is dismantled from these loot chests won't dismantle into legendary marks. They'll dismantle into chroma. So you can't even buy them and farm for legendary marks.
Oh yeah, I mean it's fine.
So that's good too.
Yeah, there's no element of pay to win here in any way. I would happily hear from someone who argues there is, but I just don't think there is an argument that would stand up to any sort of.
Sorry, Dado did bring up a point in his review of the stream when he said we don't know if these sets are random or set. Random perks or set?
Oh, I see. I do think they are random, and that's only an inference from what someone said. Because what was it when I think Deej was looking at one of the armor pieces on the stream, and he says what we don't want players to do is to say, "Oh, I finally got my perfect chess piece. It's got int discipline, but it's blue." And I wanted it to be red or whatever, so I can switch that. So just the fact that he was talking about
that's true.
So I think that, I mean, it was never explicitly stated, but that couldn't have been a comment he made if they weren't able to vary.
It was pointed out all the Spectre and Taken Armor that they saw had the main perks were the same on stream. I mean, we don't know if that's going to be when it releases.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe he was only talking about that in discipline roles. Maybe
he could very well have been. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's very true.
And so what was that
Taken Armor as well?
And what was that Taken Armor called? They gave it a name.
Was it Despair? Was it Despair?
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Something with the Armor of Despair. I was only paying attention to the aesthetic. Really, I wasn't paying huge attention to the names. It's possible that they're doing some of the same sort of stuff they do with the different class. Therefore, Warlock, Titan, Hunter having different armor, having different names. Like the raid gear, so it could be that, but I don't know.
Well, either way, that's the stuff that looks like they're taken. It wasn't a shader like when the first thing.
The desolate.
No, I'm so glad that it was, because I had a bit of a look at the original stuff, those original pictures, and I just didn't think that was going to be proper customization. When I first saw the screenshots before any of this came out of Taken Guardians, I thought they were going to be a mission enemy, and that was as simple as that. Because the amount of art design would have to, because it wasn't just a shade. You could see that they'd fully designed the character models around
the swirls around the helmet.
Yeah, all those things, and then the shape of it. So it's not just a shader.
What's pretty cool with that armor, which is kind of like another level of that customization you talk about, is when you get the entire set, you unlock that Taken emote, and that's the only way to get it. You can't buy it. Once you've got a full set, is you get that twitchy kind of Taken emote, and that's another thing we've been kind of lacking in the game is like you've got the whole set. Here's something to signify that. That's really cool.
Exactly right, and I really enjoy that. I did say I have to admit I was watching the stream live, and even though the Twitch comments go through at about 1 million miles a second, I did catch just the second. I mean, someone obviously wasn't paying that much attention. They'd already specified how you got it, and then somebody saw it in the Eververse thing and said, "Oh, you can buy it," and they were furious. And it was like an all caps rant. And then it went past almost so quickly that it was a couple of pages before someone responded and said, "You idiot! They just said on the stream." Anyway, but I think people are very not to just sort of to wail on it, even though that was pretty funny. I'd say that just shows how acutely aware and sensitive people are to pay to win and paying for different. I mean, it is just cosmetic, but for something that's so big and so cool, it would be really disappointing if that was behind a paywall. And thank God it's not.
Yeah. Do you guys think that you can put a shader on top of that armor?
No.
Although that would be cool. I mean,
it would be red or something. Red and
it'd be cool to be able to.
Not a shader on with the Taken theme thingy going on, but just actually get rid of the Taken aesthetic and putting another.
I see. Like having the so because as they specified, these are armor pieces. Therefore, beneath the swirling void of Taken energy is some actual, structure. Maybe.
Yeah, I reckon no. I reckon shaders won't work. But
yeah, that'll be interesting. I think.
Yeah, we won't know till we see. So they also are rocking a Taken shotgun, and we've seen that in a few pictures. We found out that is a strike exclusive to the updated Winter's Run. That's the Archon Priest strike that's coming back.
Yeah, I've been missing those strikes.
Me too, man. There's all these strikes in here, which. Hell, I mean, you're playing strikes over and over again. Why not play the strikes we played last year over and over again?
Yeah.
Well, exactly right. I mean, yeah, that is a strange design decision I think they've made, not having everything. I get there needs to be a pool, or like a reduced pool, so you can just play the new content more. With a greater weighting on the new content, but there just needs to be the old stuff brought back into the pool because they're fun. Like we enjoyed them. It's been long enough now that I'm less sick of the old ones as I am of the new ones. Like it needs to be expanded upon. Yeah. Anyway,
I think we probably expected them to be updated sooner than they are as well.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Even just for the level of the drops or the light level brought up. And the invasion of the Taken was the perfect excuse to do that for literally all the content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's odd. And then so now we're getting one back. That's good.
Yeah, true. That's it.
Yeah.
I like the Archon Priest, even though it could be a punish on the Nightfall, but
it really could be nasty. And those cheese spots were initially hiding under those stairs or hiding up at the top of the up the top of the rocky outcropping.
Yeah.
Indeed. No Gjallarhorns either. But,
no, that's right.
Yeah, no Gjallarhorns anymore for the Taken. Well, I mean, we'll have we'll have a bunch of other stuff in our arsenal though, so it'll be okay. We'll sort it out.
Cool. All right. So then that's the Taken armor, the Desolate armor.
Desolate.
Yep. Shaggy said it before. And then the other one is called the Spectre. And the Spectre armor is designed with the Chroma in mind. So this is kind of like. This is how to make Chroma look cool, and this is what this armor is.
That's right. It's a proof of concept. This is how cool things can be. Do you see?
Yeah. So in these Sterling Treasure boxes as well, you get a guaranteed armor piece, whether it be Desolate or Spectre. It's going to be like a chest or gloves. It's not going to be a class item. That's a potential drop, along with either Chroma, the new ships that we saw that come in, and some new faction boosts. Well, either Vanguard or Crucible or Verix boosts. There's some more ads.
Very happy. So very happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, something I've been quite frustrated recently is chasing. I'm chasing the perfect Crucible fusion rifle,
right?
And trying to get one of them to drop is an absolute nightmare. And I'm sure everyone knows the pain.
The pain of just wanting anything to drop. People who want 1,000 yards or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So very happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just cool. I mean, to really follow up on the Sterling treasure boxes. So it's it's all sort of proof of concept. This is just one of the many ways we get loot. Has this sort of certainty to it, but it's fantastic. Like you can see the loot table. It's push triangle. The prompt should be push triangle to see. You can tell that we're PS4 players. Push triangle to see. Loot table. That's basically what it says. So open it up. You say, here's what you will get 100% guaranteed. One of these items, and then here are some of the other follow-up ones that you will get. And that's cool.
Pretty significant. That's a significant kind of change. Not change, but a little nod to that they're heading towards that direction. Like the community's been asking for that. Like we want to know that we get a guaranteed drop of this. And then we want extra stuff as well.
Exactly right. And I mean, yeah. So that's not to say that you can't open it up and know what you'll get, but you know what's in the table and you know what your chances are just by looking at it. So I think that is fascinating and interesting. And I think you are right when you said change. It is a change because that's 100% not. When you read their original design briefs, they talk about things like mysteries and uncertainty and in the story, but also in the sort of they're going a big way for the loot as well. And it was just frustrating.
Remember, like you beat Atheon and you get a Chatterwhite, and it's like it's cool, but like everyone's getting a Vex and stuff, and like how many?
Okay. I think it's very interesting. Like, I was thinking, so these sets are available from the Sterling Treasure chest, and everyone's going to be chasing a full set. What are the chances of, like, maybe the helm or the boots being like lesser like drop rate, like.
Unless I see. So okay. So you're saying you've got. Now, do you remember? So it was one of each armor pieces for each class. Was that all that was in the primary?
Yeah, the
drop
guaranteed.
area?
Yeah, and not class items. Class
and
items
not
are
class
impossible.
items.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they were the possible roles. Okay, so that's 4. So it's and there was more than 12 in there, wasn't there? Or maybe they weren't. I can't. I don't have the stream in front of me.
Yeah, 16. 4.
So there's the Desolate armor, and then there's the Spectre armor for each.
Oh, both are in the box. Okay.
Yes,
okay,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
I was also 24
Sparrow.
then. So 24 possible. So yeah, that's a very good point. So is it a 1 in 24 chance of what you want, or do the helmets have a lesser a weighting now?
And can you get any class as well? Are you on your Warlock and you drop a Titan helm as well?
Yeah, these are good questions. They should be put to.
And there was also sparrows in that loot box as well. Just forgot to mention.
Yeah, that purple one. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Yes, that was in the possible section, the right hand side, was it not, or was it in the primary?
The what? Sorry.
The sparrow. That was in the
that was in the possible pile. Yes.
No, I understand.
Yep.
No, very good.
Okay, right. and they're also available at 200 silver from these treasure chests. So should we talk about the fact now that this is loot boxes in Destiny?
Yes.
No, we certainly should. If you think about it now, think about all the different ways of getting gear and like DLC or whatever we've had in this game. We've had DLC, we've had microtransactions, and now we have loot boxes. Even the way they open it up, it's like a loot box. I don't know, it blew my mind a bit.
It's sort of in a positive. Like, is there a value judgment attached to that mind blowing, or
no? I'm not sure how to feel about it, to be
honest.
You
better get that mind blown emote.
Yeah, they get that mind blown.
Indeed.
Loot boxes in Destiny. Oh. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. I'm shocked. You can buy them, but it's all cosmetic, so I'm not worried about that. I just know that I'm going to buy some.
I am too. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, it depends. I mean, Destiny has a hugely diverse following. There are a bunch of young people who don't necessarily have the standing income to be able to make a decision to go and buy one. But their parents might decide to get them one, or that they may have a bunch of young people. Then
three free a week isn't bad either.
It really isn't. It really isn't. If it was one a week, it would be close to exploitative, and I would have had a very different opinion on it. But three free a week.
3 per character?
I don't think so. It's just
3. I can't be. Surely it isn't. I mean, I haven't even thought about that until now, but it just isn't. It just can't be. You are not getting 9 of them a week.
Because when I rewatched the stream as well, he did he would make a note of saying per character. He just said by logging in, you get a loot box. So yeah.
And in fact, yeah. So the first time you play,
each character is different.
Well, the one in your postmaster, but they
when you get a gift, it's a special order type thing.
Right.
It appears on all characters, but once you take it on one, it's gone for all.
Yeah.
So I imagine it will be the same.
So the other thing to bring up with that, obviously you're pulling out this 3 light armor from this thing. It's going to take forever to infuse up. So what they did is they made infusion 1 for 1. You don't get halfway there, quarter of the way. You get 100%.
The full way there. Again, there was that flash of that anger in me, that sort of that fire, and then it died down. I'm like, no. Yeah. It's just the week after week after week after week after week of playing the raids, and then it's like, oh my god, okay, so I've only got a pretty decent helm. I want to get it to 320. I'll infuse this 319 helm straight to it. Oh well, it's 313 now. Okay, so the maximum that can possibly go up in one go is however much. So I'm going to need 2 helmets to put into it now. But this is a new phase of the game, so you can't. The way I've validated my feelings and stopped myself from stroking out with rage was basically by thinking to myself, right, this is a new phase of the game. It's a new update, and the new update rules are the rules that they would apply. So, I mean, this is cool. This is a step forward, and now
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, for one, the way the infusion system has kind of downed my playtime significantly. I think maybe for Shaggy too. But I used to play a lot more in year one, and now I had to get everything. I had to get all exotics. I had to get to max level. Now it's so hard to get to 320. I just don't have the time to run that many raids. That I've just been content sitting here, and I just hardly care infusing up. Now I'm probably more likely I'm going to go raid, because if I get a 320 helm, bang, I can infuse that into the helm I like. I've got a 320 helm. I can do that.
Yeah, in this case, 330 or 335. Sorry,
335. Yeah, right, yeah. which again is going to make our jump up be a lot quicker, kind of like that House of Wolves problem again, though. But we're gonna get these big drops, and then we're gonna be at that light straight away. But because we can infuse it, at least we're all gonna look different, and that's
exactly right. And that's opening up. But I will now do the raids again. I mean, I don't know how long it's been. So I remember making the transition from doing the raid on every character every week, and then doing the raid on only 1 or 2 characters every week, and then the transition to doing the raid on 3 characters every week. However, only what the challenge mode is. Yeah. So doing I
have not done a raid since challenge mode dropped. I have not done one challenge mode.
We need to stop. I mean, we have a
hard mode.
Yeah. Who are you? Okay. I mean, that's fine. This is all fine.
It's Crucible Dynasty, okay?
I mean, it's Crucible Dynasty, but we had some pretty decent world first raid completion attempt groups going on. We had, I think, 5 separate raid groups going at drop. So we're pretty into the game, and it's
I really enjoyed the raid. Don't get me wrong. It was just more the grind of the system. I just wasn't. I didn't have enough time to commit to Destiny this year, so that was a thing. I'm not going to focus my time in Destiny trying to level up anymore. It's
exactly right. And I find the same way. I know a bunch of people who were really hugely keen completionists, just like you're saying, who just stopped caring. And it's not because they don't care about video games or they don't care about those completions. It's just it was too much. Like, I want to get to 320, but it's just not happening for me. And therefore, the mechanism they used to deal with that was just not caring about leveling anymore. And that's far more hurtful for their future interest in Destiny than anything else.
See, when I heard this, I was thinking that they've probably realized that, Magi and other people that are still doing that stuff and really grinding the stuff out, they get into the light things like they saw. But they would have seen people like me that aren't committing as much time just drop off and just cap at 310 or wherever and just not even bother running raids anymore, and they would have seen that's a problem. I hope that's part of the reason why they changed it.
Yeah, no, I would think that probably is. Thanks to the Sparrow Racing League, my Warlock is 320, so
I really needed helms in such a bad way, but I just didn't enjoy the SRL.
I understand. If you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. I mean,
I did it first. I even bought the playbook, Magi. Like, I spent $10 in this playbook, and then I played the game. And just
wait a minute. I hate what I'm doing. I won't do it anymore. I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. I mean, it was a
If it comes back with more maps and it's more like Mario Kart, less blatantly, I don't care. It's not the main game; it's a side game. Rip off Mario Kart. I'll play it all the live long day.
Yeah, no, agreed. I totally agree. I mean, I ended up. I mean, someone was raging. They checked the GTR and checked how many races that I'd done, and they're like, "Oh, you've done however many 100?" And I'm like, "No, I couldn't possibly have." Then I realized it only was it was something like 40-ish minutes a day, and we're always in fire teams as well. So it's like, that's the thing about being in a good clan, is I jump on just to talk to people in the afternoon after work. It's like, oh, what are you doing? We're racing. Oh, okay, I'll come in and race. And you race for half an hour, 40 minutes, get some drops, get off, make dinner, do your stuff, and it was fine. Come play some Crucible after. Like, it actually wasn't too bad, because it did go for the 2 weeks. So averaged out over that time, it wasn't too bad.
And that was the Sparrow Racing League? It was like towards the end of last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what people said, that SRL was only really fun if you were playing with friends and goofing around. I wasn't really doing it. I was just jumping in to smash out some races, kind of.
Mm-hmm. I remember Digos and Zara in the clan were probably our 2 best races, I think. And Digos, I think, eventually overtook Zara, which is whatever. And they just put more time into it than I can. It upsets me. Yeah. It really does upset me. And some of them had. And I know people who put more time into it than they did, and still didn't get a 320 drop, which is just hurtful. It's just so hurtful.
It is. Especially if you were like me, like I wasn't really enjoying it. I'm like, I'm not going to grind this for 320. I'm just going to. Yeah, I'll just wait till actual Destiny comes back.
Yeah, agreed. I understand. And
then challenge mode came. I never did that either. So anyway, the cycle continues.
Indeed, you're already burned out by then. Yeah.
All right, so there's a couple more things to cover. Not much. There's a heck of a lot more new emotes, and I'm happy. I like the new emotes coming in. It adds more variety to the game. I'm going to throw my money for that Elaine. I don't care. I want to do the Elaine dance.
You want to do the Elaine dance, and you will. I like that they've got these ostensibly non-branded names for them, but everyone knows what they are. They can't call it the Elaine dance because they'd be sued to the ground instantly, and they'd go bankrupt. But what they can do is do the Elaine dance and then call it whatever it is, excited dance.
Chicks dance, they call it.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. I mean, it's just.
You're not huge on the emotes, though, are you, Shaggy?
No, I have yet to spend $1 at Eververse. I bought the bow emote for 200 coins
with the free.
With your free 200. Yeah, the bow's good. Yeah, I think
I still have 200.
Still got 200 in there.
Yeah, it's got 200 in there.
Oh man,
so that's just me.
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's such a big topic. We probably shouldn't go too deep into. That's the beautiful thing and not so good thing about microtransactions. You don't want to partake, and we quote unquote get this free content that's now supposedly dropping from buying these emotes. But it still doesn't seem like a sustainable system. But which, it's such a...
No, I mean, now that it's in, it's never going away. Let's be very clear. Now that microtransactions are in whatever form are here, it's never, ever going away. Eververse will be a part of the game until the Destiny franchise is over. And that's fine. So it's just a matter
I don't mind dropping money on emotes. I actually, when I first bought Silver, because I'm like, man, if this is their new model, I love Destiny and I want to get better, I'm buying some. And I want to give a bunch of money. I don't care.
And it was fun. Like, we play enough Crucible and enough stuff to get use out of it. Like, I mean, I didn't mind buying the Thriller Dance because it's amazing, and I didn't mind buying the bow because I want to be able to bow. And I've seen someone thumbs down someone into a rage quit. So, I mean, so they do have their uses depending on what you're prepared to sort of do with them. But again, I don't feel compelled to do it. I don't care if I don't have it, and I don't care if somebody else has something that I don't have. But I like that it's there. I like that extra level of customization. The idea
just adds so much variety.
Exactly
now we're getting so many of them.
The argument being that, oh my God, we've been asking for customization for a bit over a year now, and now they bring it in the form of paid customization for emotes. Oh my God, that could have been a very, very sensible argument to make back in the day when emotes first dropped. But now that we've got this free and arguably much, much cooler version of customization that doesn't involve microtransactions or isn't reliant on microtransactions, I should say, then I think that really clears it up a little bit. It's not...
Is this with the Taken Armor? The Desolate Armor?
Exactly right, the Chroma. Now that the Chroma is here in a big way, that's customization for everyone. And you don't just need dances to be able to... you don't just need dances.
Feel different and special.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing, I mean, everyone says this, but it'd be nice to be able to equip a couple more than one emote. But yeah.
The way that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get into that.
Indeed. So, this is the problem with caring about what you talk about too much.
Yeah.
When you mention something, I have a lot to say about it. So, we need to tighten up the focus. With April update. Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we've only got a couple more points on that, so let's power through them because the other one we mentioned briefly, but is the more vault space. But just to quantify what that is, it's an entire page. They said for your armor, for your weapons, and for your general. So each one of them gets a whole new page.
Fantastic.
I was
Excellent.
running our room and all that, but it looks like we'll be good. So that's just, that was a surprise, I think, for most of the community that everyone was chuffed about. Yes. And then the other big one was some year one Legendary is coming back, and I'm excited about
and exotics.
Yeah, and some exotics brought up, yeah. Mm-hmm. And some exotics that, I'm very hyped for. That it almost seems silly that they weren't brought up. So they are.
Agreed. I'm frightened about the feedback fences. I run a primarily melee build on my full strength warlock with the Claws of Ahamkara, and coming up against and having brutal melee battles, having 2 solar shields on my warlock up against a feedback fence titan, me taking damage, me getting a shield, taking more damage, them eventually dying, me being on like 0 health. It made my life much worse for these guys.
It'll be entertaining.
Something that we sort of noticed, Ace and I, we noticed there was no fusion rifles or pulse rifles or rockets in that.
No, but I couldn't. I don't know. Like I didn't get the sense that it was
a complete list.
I didn't get the sense that it was an exhaustive list, but it might have been. I mean, to be very clear, it may have been. So I don't. Yeah.
Well, but there's some fan favorites, that's for sure. I mean,
no, they're absolutely.
Both of the hand cannons that we all used to love, Lord High Fixer and Devil, that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shadow Price, obviously, and Zombie Apocalypse Swarm. So that's for nostalgia. It's just I'm really happy.
It's interesting. I mean, there's a couple more. I don't. Yeah, I mean, you look at the current archetypes that you've got for the snipers. So you've got, you know where the cutoff on impact is to be able to res snipe. Mm-hmm. So the LDR is back in a big way. I'm sure it's one. And I forget the other sniper that was
the longbow synthesis. Which
is the longbow synthesis.
High impact as well.
Yeah, so 2 new high impact drops, and to be clear, being added to the loot table. So every time I push special ammo, every time I push special weapon engram at Master Rahul, at least I've got 2 more chances of getting a high impact sniper.
That's right. So, and they're only adding, potentially, I guess, 2 shotguns and maybe 2 fusion rifles, so it hasn't increased the entire pool by much. Like 2 of the ones coming in are high impact snipers. That's
exactly right. And those shotguns are pretty decent as well.
I had forgotten about the comedian. Made me laugh when I saw it.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, I used to be a Party Crusher man for the longest time, but then last year, I don't know if you remember, I got very much into the exceptionally high fire rate, low impact dry rot, and of course that's basically the one that's being sold at the New Monarchy guy. So that's the burden is basically the dry rot from last year.
Oh, so okay. It's like the mini Fourth Horseman they used to call it, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I love it. It's just it brings me great joy. So.
Well, Bungie did confirm. Like at first, we saw these exotics in the vault, but they have since confirmed on Instagram all these exotics come back. So I'll let everyone know what they are.
Yeah,
so we don't know any updates to them, and some of these I guarantee will be changed. Like the ATS-8 Arachnid was the first off our list. I can't see that not being changed.
Can you imagine? I mean, it would be funny if it didn't. It's like, here you are. We think this is worthwhile using.
All right then. Okay, so that there's the Queenbreaker's Bro, the Lord of Wolves, and the Drake's Promise. That's so cool. That's going to be obviously to do with the PoE.
One sec. So I still haven't picked up my Queenbreakers from Barracks.
Yeah, really?
You won.
It's still there for my Warlock. I still haven't.
Oh, really? So it's there for you to be able to pick up, but you haven't picked it up yet.
No, I haven't picked it up yet. So I just haven't touched my Warlock. I'm sorry, Magi.
That's okay. You don't have to like your Warlock. You don't have to like your Warlock. In fact, I don't like other Warlocks. On my Ghost, I have the on my Crucible Ghost, I have the generate additional glimmer when killing Warlocks. So I've got the Warlock bounty on my Warlock.
Make sure you're the best Warlock. I'm the only Warlock.
I've got hunters on mine, so I don't like.
Okay, you hunter leaders, and I'm a Titan. We round out the.
We do. We round out the. No, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get a Drake's Promise, so I guess I'm excited to see if that changes, and I actually might want to get it if I play PoE this time. I think Lord of Wolves is going to be a monster in the Crucible, though. If it saves
I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be more than it was. Like, I love shotgun play in lots of ways. I did my best to use it in the Crucible.
No, I mean since shotguns have been nerfed though.
Yeah, agreed. Exactly right. So it could really be a monster, and it depending on what, if anything, changes when it's brought in.
I have used it, and I can confirm that it monsters, so it'll be interesting. But
that's fantastic.
Being it that it's not one shot, that they can move out of your bullets. You know, it's not a closed book. It still calls for some interesting gunplay. So it'll be good. And then the Drag's Promise. So excited to get that back. We're also getting the Sunbreakers back. That's your Warlock ones. We reckon they'll get a change, Badgie? I mean, I don't think I've ever used them.
No, I don't think so. I mean, for people who use Solonades, there they are. I mean, it's possible they could. I mean, maybe it will be just a general buff. I can think of different things they could do to them. But I think they're pretty good. I mean, if you like Solonades, and Solonades can potentially be quite nasty. So I think they could get maybe a little bit of a buff, perhaps increasing the length of the burn that solar nades actually impart, or maybe the radius, or something. But I think overall, if you like solar nades, they're pretty good.
There's not much nades when there's white bolts.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And you can't completely break another one to make them viable. So,
well, that'd be interesting to see what they do with them at least. And then we've got the Purifier robes that I can't exactly. Oh, that's when you self-res, isn't it? And it blinds people.
Yeah, self-res it makes them blind. And I haven't.
It came out when Trials came out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's interesting. I could see some play. Not much. It was never that useful.
No, I mean, because if someone's guarding your orb, I mean, this has happened to me. I've been guarding an orb with a shotgun, or a shotgun for me, or others, Zara with a sniper or whatever, and then they self-res. You're blind. Well, I know you are anyway. I was facing you because, of course, I was. I'll just keep shooting and hopefully you'll die, and you always do. So being blind just makes me feel cooler when I'm doing it. So
and it gives you a bit of extra protection if you're rezzing in front of people, but the ideal way to use self-res is not be near anyone when you do it anyway. So, or not.
Well, that's exactly right.
Not looking at you,
unless you have a shotgun.
I mean, that's true. There could be potential. Like, I mean, if you self-res and you have a melee charge, that melee charge is an instant kill on a normal enemy.
Yeah, that's it.
So, if the Purifier robes fully recharge your melee on self-res, I would think about using them. I mean, I don't self-res. I always run self-res Warlock, of course, but I've been on Radiant Skin, which is the opposite, which is in the same node tier, which reduces incoming damage. But that would
be more viable, you feel?
I think it would make it more viable, make it more interesting. And because if someone's right next to you and you self-res and you just spam your melee button, they're going to explode, and it's going to be great. Then it's useful. And then they need to be a bit more careful. So blind and melee, or even a very, very, very 1 second long damage. Even a 1 second damage, massive damage reduction. So you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Again, there are things to be done. Again, this is wild speculation, but
Well, I guess we'll find out soon what they've done to it anyway, and it'll be as it is. So next we've got the ACD feedbacks, which you mentioned before. I don't think they're going to change. They were pretty good at what they did.
Yeah, agreed.
And same for the Glass House. I mean, it wasn't an amazing exotic, but it was good at what it did. You could one-shot sniper body people with using, weapons of light.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so why not? Patience and Time. I'm really excited to have that back. It was one of my favorite guns in year one. It's just cool.
It's a still piercer. It's basically a still piercer. It sounds the same. It looks a bit the same. It's amazing. I like the aesthetic a lot.
The perks are phenomenal.
Yeah, perks are phenomenal.
Radar when aimed at scope, that used to be huge for me. I used to struggle not to use Patience and Time.
For that reason, yeah, for sure. Yeah. The third eye is fantastic. Look, I mean, my exotic slot used to be taken up in other ways, so I often wasn't using a wasn't using an exotic sniper, and these days it's taken up by either a Mida, a Jade Rabbit, or a Last Word. But
you only throw it on for fun a lot of these times, like exotic.
But I think it's viable. Like, I mean, there are enough. I think, for me anyway, really viable legendary primaries.
Yeah, that's true.
If you really did like sniping, you could go ahead and do that.
I really think I'll be giving it a go again. So then we've also got the Eternal Warrior. That was we might get.
It looked cool. Yeah, that's what upset me. It looks cool, but no one would use it. So, I mean, yeah, you've got this really excellent aesthetic thing with some nice flavor text that's just whatever. That's never going to get used. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. I want it to be good.
Yeah. And then two for you, Stephen. Hunters have been lacking a few exotics, I feel. So you're getting back Khepri Sting and Lucky Raspberry.
It's only because the current exotics are just so good, I think.
Yeah. A lot of the night, you use the Graviton for the knights.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to get Shade Step and Keen Scout at the same time is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so, it is. I struggle without it now.
Not doing that.
Yeah, if you want to win.
Well, for me, I don't really like too many of them. Like I like Keen Scout, but I don't rock it, so I don't need.
You can do without it. It's fine.
Yeah, it was becoming a bit of a crutch for me, so I turned it off.
Yeah, well, I really like Khepri Sting on a gunslinger. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, well, it's pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I'd like to see is more cross subclass exotics, because there really aren't that many of them. Like, I mean, for the hunters got the boots. They've got the Radiant Dance machines, and they are useful. And the bones, exactly right. So they're useful movement related cross subclass. But I mean, for me, I'm thinking like the Eternal Warrior. One interesting thing they could really do there is, rather than just have it be a shoulder charge style or unstoppable. Yeah, Striker Titan, like unstoppable, buffed unstoppable or something, didn't I? I gave unstoppable. I don't remember.
Harder to kill, yeah. While using Fist of Havoc.
Yeah, and that. Yeah, that's fine, but I mean, it would be good if you got that. And then, what are the other charge type abilities? Well, we've got the sun. Maybe it would give you a buff to your sun charge or something, or like it's So
or make it that you're harder to kill when activating your super. That works. That gives you that thing for the striker, and just gives you a bit more meat. Maybe when you're popping a bubble or popping hammers.
Yes. Exactly right. Just something, and I hope I'm not the only one to think this, but I think the Defender Titan desperately needs something. Desperately needs a new exotic. Come the new drop in September. It needs some love. I mean,
the no backup plans change they made was great. That actually did.
Oh, they're terrifying. I mean,
but they need more than that. They need more.
They do. Yeah, they do need a bit more than that. Yeah, but that's fantastic. No.
What about Lucky Raspberry though? Because Arc Bolts have gone right into taking the back seat.
I don't know why anyone would use it. If you have the Tarantella, why would you use Lucky Raspberry? I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an answer there. So unless they address that question
They might be buffing Arc Bolts in the next stream. We might find out. We haven't heard the sandbox changes yet. So.
Exactly right. The subclasses are getting massive sort of changes apparently, and which we'll address next week. After the stream, we'll be back with one of the podcast.
That's right. We'll try and get this one a bit closer to the stream too, if we can, and so we can be talking right to the presses. And then there's one more. The Universal Remote is also back, which I'm very hyped about. I used to use that gun a lot.
Oh, same. I mean, Universal Remote Sniper build was very good indeed.
I didn't bother buying NLB for a while. I didn't have it drop for me, and I was like, good, I can snipe a shotgun kind of thing. But I had Universal Remote. That just sorted me out brilliantly. And then I was psyched when I eventually got my NLB, but it's great to have another option, because sometimes you still want your sniper, but you want to scope in and get those long range kills like you can't with NLB. And
I mean, some of us. I mean, all of us can't. We know some people who can, and we don't like them. We don't care.
I mean, us regular, just mortals.
Just people who play games, and indeed.
I know the mum of one of the snipers.
Oh yes, no, she's a lovely lady. Absolutely,
Yeah,
she's a
very lovely lady. Very good.
a shout out to her here.
With the NLB too.
Yeah. The Universal Remote Praetor's Revenge combo for me was delightful.
Oh, Praetus. Oh,
it was too good. And unfortunately, it is still the best sniper in the game. it fires on a dime.
Q1 legendaries coming back up. You know, who knows?
Imagine the raid weapons. But even now, like I mean, a universal remote, an upgraded universal remote with 1,000-yard build or any sniper that you happen to enjoy will be quite.
Defiance the Yasmin for me.
For sure, some people love it. Some people
I do.
love it.
Love that short zoom.
Next week we have the live stream that's focused around the Crucible and the sandbox updates.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm very excited to see what's going on with that.
We need a bit of a bit of a mix up. Mm-hmm. They made some really good changes at the last patch, and if they just kind of continue along that same line of thinking, I think we're in for a good one.
Yeah, a real treat. I agree completely.
We think so. Did they confirm subclasses are getting a change? Did they, Maggie?
They did. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's going to be. We're going to probably see the Stormcaller addressed, because I think they even hinted at that would be the next one to be addressed.
Yeah. I think
we've got to assume they're going to do something about Viking Funeral and Firebolts maybe as well.
Wow, that's been from day one that it's been nasty. I wonder. It just shuts you down, doesn't it, for so long? I mean, who's to say? I don't really use them. I use the double sticks. So
but we've all come across those players with Thorn and Viking Funeral.
Oh, it's a bit upsetting. One Thorn, Viking Funeral. All right, I can run away now. You are definitely dead. Yeah. It's a shame.
It's just like I wouldn't have a lot of people have a problem with burn in the Crucible. I wouldn't have a problem with a burn. I think there's just too many ticks. I think it takes you out.
Well, I mean, you look at what you actually have to sacrifice to get a really good Viking Funeral build, though, and it's not insignificant. Like, I mean, people say, "Oh, why were arc bolts nerfed and fire bolts not?" You need to have like 3 to 4, depending on how much you care about your Viking Funeral build, 3 to 4 perks that you would definitely have doing something else selected to make them half as good, or that's hyperbole, as good as the old arc bolts. Whereas the old arc bolt, straight off the bat, chains to multiple targets and is incredible without any perks at all.
You used to get hit by it from so far away if your teammates were in front of you. You just didn't even expect to be dead. You thought you were hiding in the corner to recover shields, and then you died.
2 of them thrown, you were dead. And if you tried to get out, you were last worded. So, I mean, I think it's apples and oranges. When you're talking about why Arcbolt got nerfed, because it was insanely broken and ridiculous, and it did too much damage. To get Firebolt, you need to first of all select Firebolts. You're getting sticks, or the solar nades. You need to select Viking Funeral, so that's taking away. I mean, there's only one other. So I'm looking at the perk tree now. So Viking Funeral, you need to take off Radiant Will, which increases the duration of Radiance. So you're getting a shorter super when you pop your super, and then you need to actually pick Touch of Flame, which makes your grenades burn in the first place. So that means you're not getting 2. You have potentially, if you're using the other ones, you're getting 2 nades. So
that's why you use 2 stickies, right? You get 2 insta kills.
Well, that's what I do, and it's just totally fine. Who cares? So you need to focus your build around having a burn build, and then you only have one of those nades, and then you need to go full dis, so then you're losing out on your potential melees. Like I think the Warlock, in terms of having a strong skill like that, is balanced by how much class work you need to put in to make it a thing. Like, you lose out in other ways. But
it's
on the
kind
Hunter,
of all they get.
Yeah, exactly right. You lost nothing. You literally lost nothing. Like, here you are.
They got skip grenades. They buffed skip grenades, and they became amazing.
Skip grenades are terrifying, and people are excited about the new exotics that are coming.
I hope they nerf skips before those exotics come out.
I mean, that's why it's not been mentioned. There's no way skip nades in their current situation are going to get an exotic that gives you 2 skip nades and increases the tracking.
I don't really mind of all these nades, because my shade step just works perfectly.
Well, yeah, you just evade them. You're like, and evade. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing with Firebolt. Even without Shade Step, you can you get enough time that if you can just get yourself behind a corner, that bolt will hit you, but it won't. It'll hit the wall. Well,
and the other thing people don't realize is, and I don't know if I should say this because I want warlocks to take over the universe, but one thing you can do. This is I forgot this difference. Arc bolts, you could land them at the enemy's feet, and they would still do full damage and chain. Whereas the firebolt nade, if you land it too close to your target, it just explodes and does a little bit of damage and won't set you on fire, and generally it won't set you on fire, but it also won't do the full damage, and it won't sort of strike out towards you. So if you can literally run towards a firebolt and know you're going to survive if it lands at your feet, because it will not do the full damage and it will not set you on fire.
So if you're accurate with the firebolt, you're worse off.
Yeah, you need to accurately land it near them, and if you land it too close, then you're lost. So there are lots of ways in which firebolt basically has checks and balances to make it sensible. But I mean, yeah. It's like people who charge up sniper lines and complain that they're getting sniped. Oh, this is terrible. Why are you running out there? Why? There are other ways. Go around the other side. It's like if you're standing around a corner, really close to a corner, and you know there's a warlock with firebolt, you are going to get set on fire. And that's what happens to you because you're standing there. If it happens the first time, don't do it the second time. He'll know you're coming back.
Well, I think I would just even Viking Funeral, it makes it do 7 damage. Maybe even upping the damage and reducing ticks. I want to see a change like that. Yeah, I don't like the amount of time it takes me out.
It almost increases its lethality, but it doesn't shut you down for so long. Because what is it? Something like 16 seconds from time that you get hit and then you're burning before you start to recharge and hit full health again.
If you're in a 3v3 or a sweat, that's huge. That's okay.
You're out of the game
now.
You're literally out of the game for 16 seconds. Your team will be dead by the time you get back there.
Yeah, they have to retreat with you essentially if you really need your whole team to push. If it's a close game.
But to be clear, I mean that's cool. I like area of denial and that sort of control style play. But yeah, maybe a little bit less, just a little bit less. I agree. I'd have to be sensible and agree with you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we will all see these changes next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Wednesday morning, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Thursday morning for us. Here in Australia.
Thursday morning. That's correct. Yes. Cool.
Yes.
And we will hopefully get together for that then.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course, yeah. Hopefully we can maybe jump on, watch a stream together and talk about it then, and then jump to the podcast, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any last words, Phil?
It's been fun to have a bit of a chat. We've been talking about this for a little while, and it's enjoyable to finally jump on and get this done. It's another extension of what makes, I think, being in a clan and being in this clan particularly really cool. It's just this ability to have this friendly chat and know people well enough to be able to do this.
It's been a very long time coming, that's for sure.
Well, me and Shaggy, we love this game since the day we played it, and been keen to just talk about it and jump on a podcast, and we've got we've got such a fun clan and something we've put together. We have an opportunity and outlet to do this. That's a beautiful thing for the clan.
There's so much to discuss. There's Crucible metas. There's what's going on in Crucible that we're going to bring into the podcast. We've been discussing having guests from guests with different specialties. Like Zara is an insane off the wall sniper who upsets me every time I play with him. I think
you'll be seeing some of his footage now. Actually, they'll be watching.
Yeah, definitely. Jump on the Crucible Dynasty YouTube and just have a look. We've
got some amazing players in this team. We're very lucky to be in a clan with the people who've got in that clan.
So there's so much to talk about. There's the future of video games, the future of Destiny as a whole, it's the franchise, things that have gone wrong, things to improve. Just advice for players. There's a lot to talk about week in and week out, and I'm looking forward to doing it with you guys.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining me, fellas, and thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. And we'll hopefully be back next week, and you can listen to us then. So thank you very much.
Keep catching that YouTube Crucible Dynasty.
Indeed. Peace.
Cheers. Bye.